Hey everybody, Dad here. Just wanted to thank you for clicking the video and just wanted to share some settings that I found on the internet with regards to the new game Marathon. So I've been playing a little bit of Marathon lately, and there are some settings that I didn't know other people were turning on. Let me look at the camera. I gotta get used to that, looking at the camera rather than the screen. But anyway, some settings that other people are likely disabling in order to make their gameplay experience a little bit better, a little bit more advantageous to them. So, without further ado, let's get to the five settings that I found. All right, so first is field of view. So you want to set this to 90 to 105, so somewhere in between there. The default field of view is often quite narrow, which can feel claustrophobic and leave you vulnerable to being flanked. So increasing this gives you a much better peripheral vision. Most competitive players land at around 100 FOV, or field of vision. Going higher than 105 can make enemies at a distance look like pixel-sized targets, making long-range engagements a lot harder. So you want to make sure that you set it to about 100, not all the way max. The next setting that you want to disable is what are called the cinematic trio settings. They are motion blur, film grain, and chromatic aberration. You want to disable all of these. They're meant to make the game look more like a movie, but all they do is, well, motion blur makes the enemies sort of smear on the screen when you turn quickly, and then film grain and chromatic aberration make it difficult because they add visual noise to your picture that makes it significantly harder to spot a camouflaged runner hiding in a dark corner. So just make sure that you turn all three of those off. The next one that you want to adjust is your audio levels. So you want to lower gameplay music to between 2 and 5. Bungie's soundtracks are legendary, but Marathon's audio design is heavily reliant on environmental storytelling, which is the sound of an airlock cycling or a distant reload or footsteps. So lowering the music ensures that it doesn't drown out critical audio cues during a tense standoff. Keep sound effects volumes at 10 to maximize your ability to track enemy movement through walls. The next setting is you want to turn VSync off. So input latency is the silent killer in extraction shooters and first-person shooters. VSync effectively eliminates screen tearing, but introduces a slight delay between your mouse movement and the action seen on screen. So turning VSync off and enabling NVIDIA Reflex or AMD anti-lag reduces that delay. If you hate screen tearing, use a frame rate cap that matches your monitor's refresh rate rather than using VSync. Number 5 is interaction / consumable bindings. So by default, some survival actions like using a battery or a stim can feel clunky on a standard layout. In the heat of a fight, you don't want to be fumbling around with a radial menu. So on PC, rebind your most used consumables to a side button on your mouse. That just makes it a lot easier in a heated battle to quickly use what you need to use without having to go through menus and things like that. The other thing, this is a bit of a bonus that I didn't realize was a thing until I read it online, was that you also want to turn off or lower foliage density, so you can see people hiding in foliage further away because you won't see the foliage. It doesn't render. So just keep that in mind as well. It's another good tip. And that's it. Hopefully you're having a lot of fun with Marathon. It's a pretty cool game. If you like extraction shooters, hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you thought of these settings. I know they're pretty default, but I didn't think of them. So I imagine there's other people out there as well that didn't think of them either. And being a dad and not having a ton of time to play, you really want to take advantage of every setting that you can to make yourself more competitive. Now, actually, here's a question for you. Let me know in the comments about this. Do you think that turning off these settings is cheating or giving yourself an unfair advantage? Let me know. I'd be curious to hear what you think. Anyway, take care, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.